everyone, my name is Strigle. I'm with the Delaware County Community Traffic Safety Project. Our grant is under the TMA, but we are funded by PennDOT. So we are given funds to go out and teach traffic safety. So under some of those things in traffic, can you hear me if I like to talk and walk? So under some of those causes that we do, we have programs for seatbelt safety, car seat safety, teen drivers, distracted driving, mature drivers, anything under that traffic safety bubble, we have free programs for, and we go out and teach them in our community, okay? And most of you all drive in Delaware County, right? Do you think there's a need for driver safety? I can tell you from firsthand on Wednesday, I was T-boned. My car just got word it's totaled. I am 30 weeks pregnant from a lady who did not see me, right? Just coming home from work. It happens every single day, and in our community, it's happening way too much. So we are out there trying to educate people in our community about these safety concerns. Some of the safety focus areas that I work on, that we kind of use data and we pull these certain safety focus areas. So aggressive driving, Delaware County's #1 thing. Are you surprised? No. Unrestrained. It's one of our laws. Over 18, it's a secondary violation. Under 18, it's a primary. Impaired driving. This is getting lower in alcohol, but higher in drugs. Pedestrian safety. A lot of your communities are walkable, so we have programs that we can go out and help you teach the community. Motorcycle safety, mature drivers. Guess who the second highest population of mature drivers statewide is? Us. Who do you think #1 is? What state do you think #1 is mature driver crashes? Florida. You already heard this. No, I'm kidding. Teen drivers. Teen drivers, the #1 thing that are killing our teen drivers is actually distracted and reckless driving. So I've been in majority of the high schools teaching these students about the importance of not driving distracted. Child passenger safety. I'm a certified car seat tech and instructor, so I can come into your community and do free car seat events. I've probably already taught one of the police departments about this, and you probably already have someone certified. They just didn't share it yet. And work zone safety. So places that I can go maybe are daycares, schools, senior centers, community days, rec centers, teen groups, libraries, summer camps, and township days. This is me at South Delco Kindergarten Center. I taught all those kindergartners at one time. Holy moly. But it was fun. They really were engaged and loved it. So what can we do for you? So grades K through 5, I can do bike safety, proper helmet fitting, bike rodeos, and street safety. So we talk about how to ride on the road. I do have access to some helmets, so we can also do some helmet giveaways as well. Pedestrian safety, we can do crossing the street, who can help you cross the street. So this, I kind of made it so this is how I talk to the children. Safe places to cross, we go through all the different ways, the safest places to cross, and street safety as well. Car safety, we talk about riding in the car. Remember, this is K through 5th, okay? Airbags, we talk about how fast the airbags come out. I can show you my burns and bruises if you want to see them from the airbags. Car seat, booster seat, seat belts, and distracted driving. Yes, I do talk to them about distracted driving, because who's the biggest tattletales? What age group? K through 5th. So they're the ones that are going to say, 2 hands on the steering wheel, or put your phone down. So we are interactive. We do walk to school day. We've given out bike helmets. 6th through 8th. This is a hard group, but I think I found what works with them. Because those middle schoolers, they kind of look at you like, I know how to ride a bike. I know how to cross the street. But do you? But we do talk to them about being safe passengers. Because in middle school, the next step is they're going to be driving with those high school students and being the distraction to those high school students. So we have a program called Impact Teen Driver, which gauges it more towards being a safe passenger. And I've done this in Springfield ETR, which went really well. The students really loved it. For the high school age, we do Impact Teen Driver, so we talk about the distractions. So all these things up here are lethal. But how about lip gloss? How can lip gloss be lethal when driving a car? What do you think? Grabbing for it, taking that lid off, then applying it. If it's a manual distraction and a cognitive distraction, takes your mind and your hands off the road. So just kind of opening the teen driver's eyes up to those simple distractions they're doing in the car every single day. The texting, everyone close your eyes. 1, 2, 3, open them. You just drove the length of a football field going 40 to 50 miles an hour with your eyes closed. Takes 3 seconds, that's it. So then you kind of see their faces, oh, I have no idea. And lattes. You take that latte, you bring it to your lips, you tilt it back, where do your eyes go? Up, right? Your eyes go up, take your eyes off the road. So they're drinking their iced coffee in the morning, that's a type of distraction.
What if you spill it?
What if you spill it? What if you hit a Pennsylvania pothole, right? And that hot coffee goes all over your lap. You think you're gonna keep the car straight? No. So just opening their eyes up to some of those simple distractions they're doing in the car. Then we talk about the leading cause of death in their age group. So out of all these things, murder, suicide, disease, other injuries, car crashes, 4,000 a year, this is just a year, teens drive in distracted and reckless driving car crashes. So I just say each dot, when it's animated, each dot is a different color. So we do the high school seatbelt challenge. So we go into most of the high schools in Delaware County that have student parking, and we track their seatbelt usage. So I went to 8 this year wanted to participate, and we tallied them up in the beginning. They'll have all fall, winter to campaign. Next week I'll go back and track again. It's a secret. The school district will know, but the students will not know, and I'll see if they had a chance to campaign, and they'll get a chance to win a grant, $500 grant towards their student group. So that's always fun. They get t-shirts out of it, and then they can bring me in for drunk goggles, all that stuff. It's interactive. We have drunk goggles, we have fatal distracted match. Plan on getting some other fun things too. We go to colleges. One of the pictures is Penn State Brandywine. We go there during their lunch periods and hang out with the students and talk about the distractions. We do bike rodeos. Mature driver. So with these mature driver programs, we go and we talk about, I call it the ABCs of driving. They've been driving for years, but we talk about the newer laws, the newer things to look out for. We talk about medications, how some of their medications might affect the way they drive, and impair them. We also do car fit. Car fit is basically, put this nicely, it's fitting that senior to their car, making sure they're not sitting too close to the steering wheel, adjusting their mirrors so their mirrors are adjusted right so they can see that blind spot. Most of them, I think all the time when I do it, Lauren can vouch for me, they are looking at their entire car. I'm like, well, why do you need to look at your car? They're like, well, I need to see. I'm like, no, you need to see those cars. So a lot of people don't understand the concept of those side mirrors. So we'll do that as well. And then car seat safety. So I partner a lot with CHOP. And we do a car seat fitting station once a month in Middletown Firehouse. And I can do that anywhere. Any firehouse, we just did a certification at Broomall Fire, where we certified new techs. But we'll come out, schedule it, I do all the scheduling, send you the flyer, and your community can sign up for a free car seat check. Doesn't cost anything to you. Sometimes I can find grant money to give away car seats. Depends on what was written, but I will have some on hand for those that don't have any car seats. So that one we partnered with State Farm, and we went to Chester Community Fairgrounds and gave out, I think, 27 car seats, which is great. And here is my contact information. Any questions for me? No? All right. We'll have a chance to talk more. Come on up here. stayed still, so.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming. I'm Lou Huffnagel. I'm the manager of the infrastructure section of the Delaware County Planning Department. Today, I will introduce our director, Gina Burritt. Gina joined the planning department in November of 2022 after over 2 decades in the private sector, where she worked on numerous environmental and transportation planning projects involving water resources, historic preservation, climate resiliency, National Environmental Protection Act, environmental justice, and community engagement. She has worked with all levels of government from the federal level to the local municipal level. It is my pleasure to introduce Gina Burritt.
All right, good morning. I am here really just to plug one of our newest plans, Vision Zero Delco Safety Action Plan. It is a plan to reduce traffic-related accidents and fatalities and injuries down to 0. So ambitious goal. We are the first county in Pennsylvania to adopt this plan. So County Council adopted the plan in February of this year. And we are now going out to our municipalities to share what's in the plan and also to encourage them to adopt the county's plan. So if we haven't talked to you yet, we would love to. Please visit our planning department table out there. We can get more information and we can talk through how we can help with safety on your roadways. And also, if you do adopt the plan, it does open you up to going after grant funding, specifically the Safe Streets and Roads for All program through the federal government. But having a Vision Zero plan is the first step in going after that funding. So we'd love to work with you on that. We do have 2 municipalities that have already signed on to and adopted our plan. So Upper Providence and Chester Heights have both adopted already, and we have a lot of meetings already set up. So thank you to the planning department team. A lot of them are here for their work on that and also their advocacy in getting our municipalities to sign on to the plan. So happy to answer any questions later on if anyone wants to talk about that further. But my big point this now is to introduce our next speaker. Scott Kubisiak is the manager of the enforcement programs for the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation and the Bureau of Operations, Highway Safety, and Traffic Operations Division. Scott joined the Highway Safety and Traffic Operations Division at PennDOT in 2006 and currently serves as the enforcement programs manager. His staff's primary role is to assist municipalities in the behavioral traffic safety grant process. He is a 2004 graduate of Penn State University and lives in the Harrisburg area with his wife and 2 children. And Scott enjoys coaching his children's sport team and volunteering as a Cub Scout leader. So please welcome Scott.
All right, thank you, Gina. My name is Scott Kubisiak. I'm from PennDOT Central Office in Harrisburg. I'm actually a native of the area. My parents actually lived in Drexel Hill and moved away right before I was born, so I was almost a native. But I grew up in Montgomery County and moved out to Harrisburg after college and been with the Highway Safety Division ever since. Today, so statewide, we have these meetings called roundtables. The purpose of the meeting is to gather feedback from the community, essentially to be more effective with our grant funding, more effective with PennDOT funding. So it's really helpful to our office. We have these forms. Alyson, also from our office, is going to pass out these forms. We just want to hear from you guys of topics that are important to you and what we're supposed to do. We're actually federally required to do this. Take these comments and see if we could be more effective with our programming, see what we can do differently. And then we would have to report on this in our annual report. Typically, a meeting like today, a roundtable meeting, is a standalone event. But today, with the municipalities conference, we thought it would be best, and with the group, a few guys in the room, we thought it would be best to do this right now. So I know there's just normal feedback forms, but actually your presence here today helps us qualify for $20 million in grant funding. Ally's project is the Community Traffic Safety Project for Delaware County. We have 17 other projects just like hers across the state that are having meetings just like this and with feedback forms that you're filling out just right now. So again, very helpful to our office to do that. Like I said, we're the Behavioral Traffic Safety Office. There's one of these offices in every state in the country. Okay, we're based out of Harrisburg. We're at the PennDOT Central Office Building, 6th floor. Our main objective is everyone's objective, reduce traffic fatalities. 2024 was our second lowest in history. Obviously, our ultimate goal is 0 fatalities. That's our long-term goal, but our short-term goal right now would be in 2025 to get lower than 2019. 2019 is the all-time record. Now that's the all-time record with reliable crash data. And then after we get past that, we want to get below 1,000 and then so on and so on. So 2024 was a really good year as far as all the focuses we look at. Impaired driving and unbelted seatbelt fatalities were the lowest in history. Really good progress in impaired driving, good progress in unbelted fatalities. But a lot of other categories went down. Pedestrian fatalities went down, distracted driving fatalities went down, motorcycle fatalities went down. The only one that didn't really go down was speeding. Speeding stayed equal. So a lot of positive results there. We have a dashboard. So as of January is complete. Our crash data for January is complete. Right now, things are looking good. We're ahead of pace from where we were last year. Last year, at the end of January, we had 69 fatalities statewide. We had 59 in this January. And some other focus areas are also lower as well. There's no bicycle fatalities. It takes a couple months after the fact to close this out, to make sure these are actually traffic fatalities. For a crash to count as a crash, for it to be a fatality, or it to actually be a traffic crash, one of 3 things has to happen. Either the car has to be towed, someone has to be injured, or there needs to be property damage. So if it isn't one of those 3 things, it doesn't count as a reportable crash. So there's a lot of unreportable crashes that happen out there. We talk to police departments. We always hear that we're not capturing the whole picture, but we say, yeah, we're PennDOT, we can only act on what's reported to us as far as crash reports. So if it doesn't go on a PennDOT crash report, it essentially doesn't get reported in that sense. Locally, this is where we stand, between 25 and 32 a year. And with Ally's program and the other programs we do, we're just looking at solutions to these problems. Anything you even when you fill out those feedback forms, anything that you can help us with that we're overlooking. Our office has federal grant funding and state funding as well. For the federal grants, this is about $20 million of funding. The 2 top ones on the list, community traffic safety projects, that's Ally's program with the TMA. Number 2, the police traffic safety program, that's actually our largest program. That funds 750 police departments statewide for them to do extra traffic enforcement. A lot of people don't realize when police do traffic enforcement, actually during a regular police shift, they typically don't do traffic enforcement. Police are answering 911 calls, doing other tasks. They don't have time to go out and do traffic-specific enforcement. So what our grant funding allows is for an officer, maybe when his shift gets done, he's able to go out for 4 hours and just focus on speeding enforcement, just focus on impaired driving enforcement. Pedestrian safety, you can do enforcement in a high pedestrian crash zone. So number 2, that's actually our largest program. The other list down there, kind of supporting the top 2. There's a traffic safety resource prosecutor that helps in court cases, DUI court, which is to support and try and change behavior of multiple DUI offenders. And then there's, we give the police grants to both the state police and the municipal police. So with that grant funding, I said, so like Delaware County would spend the money first, PennDOT reimburses Delaware County, and then PennDOT gets reimbursed by NHTSA. That's kind of how that would work. For state funding, this is only about $3 million of the programs our office works in. The paid media that you might see out there. Now, a lot of the highway safety paid media is mostly from NHTSA. They have a lot larger budget than we do. But we focus on occupant protection and impaired driving. Ignition interlock. Does anyone know what ignition interlock is? Ignition interlock is a whole program on itself. There's 13,000 people in Pennsylvania with that device in their car. And it essentially does not allow them to drive the vehicle. It will detect alcohol if they blow into kind of a mouthpiece, and it won't let them start the vehicle. If you have an ignition airlock in your car, you will have a license that looks like this. It says ignition airlock. So we train police, if you do come across someone with interlock in their car, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to make them, well, obviously they will be pulled over anyway, but they have to turn off the vehicle and make them blow into the vehicle to make sure the device is working correctly. We print a lot of horse and buggy manuals for the Amish population. Yellow dot manuals, those are little stickers that go on the back windshield of your car to let the police or first responders know that you have some medication that you would need to take if you have to take it to the hospital. We also purchase a lot of car seats with our state funding, car seat loan program. As I said, one of the big programs that we fund is the Community Traffic Safety Program. Like Ally is one of the 18 programs across the state. And kind of what she went over, some of the things that they do with the bike rodeo and the goggles. We actually have goggles here that we can pass around the room if anyone's ever done these before. All right, come up here. You take a look at these goggles, you just kind of make them, we just need to have a back. And the first thing you're going to think of is, it looks nothing like that. It's not like that at all, but are they accurate? I mean, they get people talking. The kids, they know what they are, and it's programming that can be delivered. They might put those on, they might walk in a line, they might try and catch a ball, but it starts the conversation, it starts the awareness of this, that people, that there are people out there that actually drive with impairment and, the selfish nature of impaired driving. Essentially, it distorts your vision, so your motor skills adjust. So if you're watching someone with those on, it appears they're impaired. As I said, we do paid media from our office. Right now, we're doing impaired driving paid media, which is on the left, and occupant protection paid media. Occupant protection on the left, impaired driving on the right. All of our messages end with paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars. We're also going to be doing distracted driving media this year because there's a new hands-free law in Pennsylvania starting soon. So right now, you can be pulled over for holding a cell phone. You'll just get a warning. This first year will just be a warning, and next year you will actually get a citation. So it's good that we finally have that law. All the other states around us, and a lot of states are actually picking that up and making progress with distracted driving laws. All of our focuses and different traffic safety topics fall on the highway safety calendar. Right now is the middle of a pedestrian enforcement wave. So municipal police departments and state police and municipal police departments in Delaware County are doing traffic enforcement in areas, maybe more downtown areas, maybe Media, maybe Chester, places where there might be more pedestrian traffic, to ensure that drivers are yielding to pedestrians, making sure pedestrians are in crosswalks. Our highway safety calendar is designed in a way where everything has a focus, and every focus kind of has its day in the sun. Again, it follows NHTSA's calendar. If you're driving on the highway and you see those message boards, it aligns with this exact calendar. So recently there was probably something about aggressive driving. Right now it's actually Distracted Driving Awareness Month. So if you're on the turnpike, if you're on 476 over here, it might say something about distracted driving. There's just different times, like 420 was focused on impaired driving on that day. Has anyone seen this diagram before? Yep. This kind of guides a lot of our programming. Specifically, what our office does is safer people and safer speeds. Behavioral traffic safety is getting people to make good decisions. Yeah, a lot of things, even before they get in the vehicle, making the decision not to drive impaired, buckling that seatbelt. And when some areas fail, other areas make up the difference, make up that gap. Right now, I can tell you that the traffic enforcement in Pennsylvania is probably a third less of what it was maybe 15 years ago. There's a lot fewer traffic citations being written, a lot fewer. But other areas have kind of made up the gap where enforcement was more prominent. And, we saw a fatality reduction last year. Last year was also the third fewest crashes that we've ever seen. So while, enforcement is down, again, other areas are making up that gap. I kind of like to show this diagram as also kind of the shared responsibility, the safe systems approach, whereas, other areas fail, but maybe the road is safe. Someone could be driving impaired, but it's a safe road and eventually saves their life. Or, death and serious injury essentially happen when all levels fail. So it's not a perfect diagram. Obviously, if you're driving 150 miles an hour, nothing might be able to save you there, but this kind of gets the idea of the safe system approach, how it all works together. One of the main things I want to show you guys is this website here. It's public crash data. When we go around giving these meetings, if there's one thing we can make you guys aware of is you can see the crashes that happen on your street. If it gets you to drive a little bit more safer, even, I know we're trying to raise awareness for other people not in this room, but even for the people in this room, if it helps raise awareness for you of areas in your town that are dangerous, when the crashes are happening, it gets you yourself to drive safer through those areas. That's good for everyone. This is our public-facing crash data website, crashinfo.penn.pa.gov. You can just go right on this. It's not good on your phone. It's not the best to use on your phone, I'll say that. But right here, the custom query tool, you can design your own crash map. Some way this is underutilized is, and I actually did this, if you're buying a home, buying a new house, you can see essentially how dangerous that street is if any crashes happen there. But the custom query tool, you can contact me, or Allie knows how to use this as well, and we'll teach you how to do this. And we're trying to get more awareness of this website. This looks like this. You kind of go down the list on the left. The date, you pick your focuses, your location of your municipality. You probably can't see this, but different things you can say: cell phone, unbelted, aggressive driving, if the school bus is involved, the school zone, if it's on the shoulder, or if someone hit a deer. Basically anything you can search for on this website. And I just did it locally right here. This is 2024. You can see all the dots, obviously, crashes that happened. We're kind of right now. We're obviously right down here, Drexel Brook. But you can kind of see the areas around. If there's a dot with a kind of a purple X through it, that's a spot where multiple crashes happened at the intersection in 1 year, which is significant. So the police have this information, our community traffic safety personnel have this information, and we're just trying to get this out there. If this gets someone to drive, knowing this, if we just can get people, raise awareness for those to drive a little safer, drive a little slower through that spot on Route 1 there. Just getting that out there. I know there were 32 fatalities in the county last year, and typically when we have these meetings, we have these roundtables, we go around, we talk about the local fatalities that happen in that town. So just looking back, there were 2 fatalities last year directly in Drexel Hill, right around here. One was, I guess, on Lansdowne Road, right by across the street from the high school. Impaired driver, impaired and unbuckled. Another one happened right at, looking at these specific fatalities, we try and think of things that we can correct. It was at State and, I have it right here. But anyway, what in that specific fatality, it was an 87-year-old driver who essentially didn't stop at a stop sign. That driver could have been driving at that stop sign for 50 years, and nothing happened. Something we kind of overlook is the complacency we all have driving around our towns. You drive at a certain, you made that right, maybe that driver could have been driving at that stop sign for 50 years. Nothing ever happens. And the one time he's a little bit careless, unfortunately he gets hit by an SUV on his driver's side door. and actually it wasn't him, it was actually his passenger on the other side that was the fatal. But, of the things we're trying to educate people on and the multiple levels of how the Swiss cheese worked, if he was hit with an SUV, he was a Hyundai Elantra. If it was a different vehicle, different point of impact, all those factors matter. But just, trying to raise that awareness, getting people to know that this data is out there and we're trying to use this to make better decisions. Just something I want to point out on the PennDOT webpage. Also, when we do these meetings, we go around. We want to let people know that if you ever come across a road concern, right at the top of the PennDOT webpage is report a state road concern. It's right there. You go in there, anything. Even if it isn't a state road, we don't expect people to know right off the top of their head if they're on a state road or not. They'll get back to you and let you know who to contact. But it's right there. Report a state road. This is the top of the PennDOT webpage. Main thing. The other main thing, obviously, is to renew your registration, renew your license, find driver vehicle services. Another thing I want to point out, make sure this is kind of off topic here, just being a PennDOT employee, I have to mention this. Real ID starts next week, so if you do not have a real ID, you can't fly. So hopefully no one in this room who's about to get on a flight soon doesn't have a real ID, because you'll be stuck at the airport. So I took a screenshot of this yesterday, so it's 7 days, you have less time. So. Also, just some of the information that we have, just promoting our webpage. We have a YouTube channel, very active on Facebook and Twitter with road updates. Also, the District 6 local office has similar platforms, Facebook and Twitter. So the rest of the time here, basically, we want to kind of get a conversation going on some of the concerns you guys have locally in the area, in the region. And especially with get a conversation, if anyone here, does anyone in the room, has anyone ever been, I know I showed a quick map of that website. Has anyone seen that website before, the PennDOT crash information tool? Okay, all right, good. And you guys use it? Is it helpful or? Okay, even us. I'm not on there all the time. A lot of times I'm on there before we go out and give presentations to let folks know that this is out there. But again, there's my contact information. I would love to. That's a lot of the things we do is teach people how to use that website. So please reach out. I'll walk you through that. As far as the forms, make sure we collect your forms by the end here. Oh, okay, Alyson's going to catch them at the end of the. As far as locally, I know mature driver seemed to be an issue in the county and aggressive driving. An interesting topic of conversation that has been brought up in other meetings that we've had. With car seat safety, the car seat safety is obviously very prominent at the younger ages, but as the kids get older, maybe the booster seat ages, it's not, basically sit in any school drop-off line, you'll see all kinds of car seat sins of kids sitting in the front seat, kids not buckled, kids not in the proper booster. So, more education of car seat safety for the older kids is a comment that we've received from these meetings. More alcohol education in schools. A lot of times there is a drug presentation or a presentation about alcohol abuse or drug abuse, but not always just about impaired driving. A comment we received is not a lot of kids, there's kids out there that don't realize you can get a DUI by being high or a DUI off marijuana. I don't know how people know that, but apparently that's a problem in some pockets of the state. Another thing, a comment that we've received that was helpful is first aid for bystanders who, obviously the first responder to a crash is the other people that were around the crash, the other drivers. So stop the bleed training would be something that we try to put out there and promote more. Or other type of first aid training for, the true first responders, the people the person behind you, that witnessed the crash. If there's something we could teach them that might save a life, that might make a difference in that short time. The interesting thing about cell phones, obviously the new law is coming out, but the net negative or net positive cell phones have been while driving. Obviously, you think that cell phones have definitely negatively affected driving. They're distracting people, and the crashes those cause. But what we do forget is how long it took first responders to get there before cell phones. It's possible that cell phones have been a net positive to driving in that regard. I remember being in a crash when this is probably 1988. The scariest part of this crash was how long we waited. There was no cell phones, we had to wait for someone to come. And in the back of my mind, that was the scariest part of all that. How long, it was a cold night. How long are we going to be out here? That crash happened today, call the cell phone and the police are there immediately. Yep.
Do a quick plug. So I said I had a crash on Wednesday. In your iPhones, everyone set your crash detection. I didn't have to do anything. The cell phone on my Apple Watch called 911 and sent them my location. And then texted all my emergency contacts to my location that I was in a crash. I didn't know I did it a long time ago. And all my emergency contacts were calling me and freaking out. So I'm like, yes, I was in a crash. And then the ambulance took me to Paoli. It alerted them that I was at Paoli. So something more you do. Really, it was really helpful. It's just in your emergency SOS.
No, that's good. Yeah, we talk about the safe system approach. Those technological advancements that make that difference, that fill that gap where other parts have kind of lapsed a little bit. So, does anyone have anything like to share? Any personal experiences? Anything from their community that they'd like to see more of? Our municipal traffic safety program in Delaware County is very strong. Most municipal police departments from your town do participate in our grant program. They get the extra traffic enforcement money. We call it the Police Traffic Service Grant. It covers, they get one grant, but it focuses on impaired driving, speed enforcement, occupant protection enforcement, and pedestrian enforcement. So they can do, we try to give them follow that highway safety calendar, but essentially, and I guess this is a pedestrian enforcement wave right now, but they can also go out and do impaired driving enforcement this weekend as well. We have 3 different grantees in the county, and those 3 different grantees cover, so essentially 3 task forces, and the other municipal departments in the county work under those task forces. We give a grant to Upland Police Department, a grant to Upper Darby Police Department, and a grant to Haverford Police Department. So kind of everyone falls under one of those umbrellas. Does anyone have any? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the grant. So for the enforcement, is there a user contract or like our product? I would call me a planning commission. I'm just trying to get information.
Absolutely. Yep. So if they want to jump on and participate in extra traffic enforcement, we would essentially connect them with one of those 3 task forces. And we've actually heard interest from a 4th task force wanting to do it as well. But if your department doesn't participate, it's probably best to kind of hop on one of the established task forces. And we're always trying to expand that program. Like I said, there's 750 police departments statewide, 750 municipal police departments, and then we give a grant to the state police, and they kind of do their own distribution there. We have 50 of those grants, so the 750 departments fall under those 50 grants. Delaware County is kind of rare, where we have multiple task forces in the county. Most counties, we give it to, for instance, Lackawanna County. We give them 1 grant, and then they distribute it to all their municipal departments. Same thing with Bucks County. Well, Philadelphia is only 1 department, they get 1. But,
And is there
Not in our behavioral traffic safety program. Not that. Yeah. They call this kind of the soft side of highway safety, whereas the engineering and the road improvement, I think, is the hard side. We're behavioral, trying to change behavior, trying to educate kind of programming.
May I ask what department has been, if there was transfer, traffic calming, measurements, or things like that?
I can route, if you just send me the email of what, I can route that. It's still probably our Bureau of Operations, which is the office we're based out of. So I can kind of route that to the proper contact.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Last few years, I've been seeing a lot more of the use of the word buzz. Is there a definition for what buzz means as far as BAC level goes? And I saw that there. What's the definition of that?
I think, well, so we always argue with the media. Our media contractor for the state comes up with these, and I'm 43, so it's interesting. This is all geared towards people that are 21 to 30. Males 21 to 30, the research that they do, and even if you're on networks, on platforms of males in that age group, and the studies they do, they also use the word wasted. They use similar, I guess, buzzwords for that. I would say that covers drug impairment and alcohol impairment, any type of impairment. Like, even if you have the slightest bit, not even over 0.08 where you get a DUI, I would say it covers, what's the chime in?
Yeah, I actually sat in a focus group for impaired drivers. Interesting enough, there was, male, female, different age groups. Buzz, they asked, what do you guys do? What terms do you use? Whether it's marijuana, other drugs, alcohol, X, Y, Z. Buzz seemed to be one of the more used terms. So I think that, our media sits on focus groups, like he said, 21 to 30, the age is usually the term for marketing, if you will, too. So I think it's just a more commonly used term than wasted or drunk or things like that. So it definitely does cover the drug and alcohol side of their driving.
Yeah, this is out there. I mean, again, NHTSA has a much bigger budget than we do to push these messages out there. But it does get out there on those, I like to listen to sports talk radio. If you listen to WIP, you'll probably hear these messages. And again, it ends with paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars. That's how you kind of know it's ours. Another thing, they come up with these messages. The one on the left, I think, is very impactful. That so essentially, 7% of people were in unsurvivable crashes. The other 93% could have lived had they buckled up. But the one on the right with the buzz, they wanted to sub in the word F apostrophe ED. And we had to tell them, no, we can't do that. Like, we'll get, our press office will get destroyed if we have F apostrophe ED. Wait, F apostrophe ED up driver. So we had to tell, that almost happened, and that would have been all billboards all over Pennsylvania. We caught that and said, no, we can't have that. F apostrophe ED up. It's almost lunch here. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to share? We have a couple more minutes.
I was just going to say, what are you guys using? Are you guys finding different terms successful, or is there anything else? Are you guys using anything else for your media that you guys are finding successful for teens or older drivers even? To share with you?
Another thing, a lot of these meetings, roundtable meetings, we have in rural areas. And a lot of the biggest complaint we hear when we have meetings in rural areas is response time for EMS. We're in a highly populated area. Typically, their EMS response time in this area is generally going to be good. Other areas, we're in Indiana County, they said there's only one ambulance in the entire county. For a square mile, which is probably double the size of Delaware County. And there's only one ambulance in the whole county. So, you know, the local police or whoever's, you know, they throw the person in the back of the car and they take them to the hospital. There's no other option. So through those meetings are kind of where we got the information on, you know, we need better first aid from bystanders, or at least maybe that can make a difference. Driver's ed is also a big topic that people have, they complain about. You know, there's, and again, with the safe system approach, the lack of driver's ed, that people used to be able to, I took driver's ed in high school, it was very impactful. We drove around town, they talked about, hey, this intersection right here, you know, you drive through this intersection, watch this lane of traffic, they're gonna come into your lane. They taught us how to merge onto the turnpike. The instructor, it seemed like he paid out of pocket for us to pay the toll so we can learn how to merge onto the turnpike. So those skills, kids right now don't have, you know, if you don't take driver's ed, don't have that opportunity, you're not learning those things. Anyone else? I guess we could. Good. All right, thanks guys. Like I said, those forms, I know it seems like we're just in this, you know, you just came to the municipalities conference, but with us collecting those forms and taking that feedback, it actually helps us qualify for all the funding that makes these programs possible. So your presence here is actually very, very helpful to our office. And you know, thank you very much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.